Yeah, definitely, definitely. 26-4, explosive. I think they're total package running backs. They've obviously shared duties with the amount of carries, very balanced yards. Extremely high yards per carry. And they do that for a reason. They're good, strong, powerful backs. But we're going to have our hands full trying to stop.
What's one of the defenses you watched in the film that able to slow them down maybe a little bit?
Yeah, well, we watched all of them, from all this season and last season. So, certainly some interesting concepts within that conference. And, I think we've just really tried to focus on within the body of our own defense, of what we can do to try to slow this offense down and attack them. So, not so much focused on other teams, other defenses, more so than, what we've done, that's allowed us to have some success.
What about their wide receivers? Their sizes and speeds, and what have you seen? You got a couple
Yeah,
of wide receivers, right?
really polished group, starting with, 84, a dependable guy with good hands. Number 2, a very well polished. I think he's 6'2", 189, and a guy that has the length, really good balance and body control. And then, of course, number 5, really reminds us of some of the guys we face every day at practice, just the explosive speed, and the ability to line up in multiple places all over the yard where you got to hunt him out and try to find him and do our best to, defend all these guys. That's the versatility of this offense. You're certainly not in the position to really target one guy to stop. There's multiple targets, multiple individuals to defend, and obviously that's well represented by the balance of this offense and how well, number 1 has distributed the ball, to all the different targets.
Yeah, number 1, when Texas played them twice, did they change up at all in the defense? Have any effect there?
Yeah, well, we watched both those games. Obviously, the first go-around, they were victorious against them, and then the second go-around, played them well and had a strong lead on them. But that's no different, I think, than all their opponents. They're always going to be in the game because of how explosive they are and how fast they can score. So we got to do a great job of getting these guys on the ground and focus on our fundamentals and technique and tackling and attacking the ball as well, trying to force some turnovers and play to our standard.
He had 892 yards rushing out there. Do they have some design runs? A lot of that's from the scrambling or
Yeah, he can hurt you in multiple different ways. So, obviously in their run pass option oriented offense, he's always got the ability to pull the ball and run himself, hand the ball off to a fellow ball carrier, or release the ball. That's what's so frustrating is you see many times other defenses defending their route concepts where he can take the ball down and take off running as well. So there's a reason he's the Heisman Trophy winner, and we're going to just do our best as far as trying to slow him down and not make him comfortable back there in the pocket.
Do they like to throw deep very often? I mean, I know they have a lot of yards, a couple of 100,000-yard receivers, but do they like to test you deep?
Absolutely. He can make all the throws, so they'll hurt you in various different ways, and so you see that every game.
An unconventional week of practice for you guys, in Miami, practicing at Barry University. So how do you kind of acclimate your guys to such a different week of preparation than what they're used to?
Yeah, I think the challenge is just doing our best to prepare like we've always prepared. So shoot a certain time might change for us from meeting standpoint. The location obviously changes, but from a preparation standpoint, we're going to try to stick to the body of how we attack every opponent, and stick to that consistency and keep a routine for our players, so they can approach this like a regular game week.
What is it like trying to get them in kind of the mindset after not playing for a couple of weeks?
Mm-hmm.
The excitement around the playoff, and what mindset do you want them in as a coach?
Yeah, I think, focus is key here. So, of course, we want them to when the time is right and they're not in the body of practice or meeting, to enjoy South Florida and but to understand this is a business trip. So when we're at these meetings, when we go to our walkthroughs, when we get into preparation and practice, that we're clocked in and we're locked in at that point, and it's time to go to work. And we are here for a reason. So that the other things and the bowl events and the fun that do come with it, that we're very fortunate to be a part of, that gets separated, within the body of our business time.
And then Quinnen, Outland Trophy winner, many of your other defensive players, unanimous and consensus All-American. Just how does it speak to your players on your defense?
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate at Alabama to have some spectacular players that I'm certainly blessed. I know we are very blessed and fortunate to be coaching. So, those awards are great, but they have nothing to do with this game, and those things are in the past. So it's more about preparing for this great opponent that we're facing here on Saturday evening. And really happy for those guys, but I think those guys will be the first ones to admit, too, that, that stuff's in the past and we're moving on now, and excited for the challenge here ahead of us in a few days.
What about you, the offensive line of Oklahoma? How would you characterize it? Better run blocker, better pass blocker?
Yeah, it's a veteran group, so it's obvious that they've worked together well, and they do a nice job of operating within the body of their scheme, so very well balanced. They're going to attack you. They're going to be physical up front. They're going to try to create a new line of scrimmage, do a lot of particular concepts that are tough to prepare for, such as not just a zone scheme team. They're going to pull guys. They're going to have gap-oriented runs, and off of every single run they do, there's some form of complement to it, whether it's throwing the ball or pulling the ball with the quarterback and going the opposite direction. So it's a tough challenge for us, and it's an exciting challenge for us that we're trying to do our best to prepare for on a daily basis here.
Does that slow you down when they have those different options and complementary plays?
Hopefully not, but we're going to find out real soon. Trying to do our best to give a look and prepare for it, and of course, going against our offense every day prepares us. We hope well, to defend some of this stuff, that our offense does similar to as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Discipline, especially for your linebackers and your secondary. Discipline to stand in their lanes, eye control.
Yeah, I think, with all the different variations that you got to prepare for, you can never get away from the importance of the fundamental and technique approach, the eye discipline, doing our job. There's so many different things, and we refer to as eye candy that can capture attention, whether it's pre-snap shifts and motions, post-snap route concepts, to, that you see other defenses getting confused too. So I think it'll be really important for us. At the end of the day, we got to do our job, from an individual standpoint, and stay within the body of the defense to be successful versus these guys.
Who are your, at all three levels, who are your communicators on the field that you'll look to kind of get guys right if there is a break in something?
Yeah, I think, traditionally we always have our inside backer as a signal caller in our defense. With how different football has kind of evolved over these past years with the tempo regime and spreading you out all over the field, and not really having the benefit of huddling up and getting the signal in from the sideline, talking about things, having some, pre-snap conversations, and then attacking as the offense breaks the huddle, and you approach it totally differently. So I think the demands are now where everybody's got to know signals, everybody's got to be able to communicate. You like to have a general kind of within each group, for us, with in the middle that signal caller being Mac Wilson, number 30, and then number 5, Shaheem Carter, from a defensive back, to be able to help us communicate. And then up front, with Quentin Williams, somebody to be able to bark out some commands and be able to have some reminders, from a pre-snap standpoint up front. So I think that's been different, over the years preparing for these offenses where we can hopefully line up and be a little better off with multiple guys talking with each other pre-snap.
Talk to me about Deontay's role as kind of a leader off the field with his group and how he's going to take it to the other guys.
Yeah, what's impressed me with Deontay is more his off-the-field preparation. Deontay is somebody we break from our staff meetings. It might be 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and we go in to get into our individual work and prepare for the next day, and Deontay's always up there. He's always asking for new information or what could he do to get better. And I think that's carried over to his teammates as well. I think that's pretty regular at Alabama, but I think more so with this group, these guys are constantly around the building, constantly around their coaches of trying to get that extra preparation, and that's been impressive. Can you say that again? Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think he's part of that reason of them doing that, of getting together, kind of reinforcing. You always got to watch the film to get your true core corrections, but there's some things obvious, that we may have busted or messed up, and I think those little things can't hurt. They always help where, Deontay will be somebody, as well as Xavier and Shaheem and Savion and Trayvon and all the guys that have done a great job. Patrick, having strong contributions this season, but those guys always get together and kind of checks and balances within each other of, what do we do wrong, what we do well, and what can we get better. I'm learning every day, so that don't stop. I promise you that. Every day, every morning, we have a focus. Red area, third down. Today, short yardage goal line. Yesterday. So that's why I love doing this. Is I'm in an environment and a place, especially at Alabama, and working with Coach Saban and our great staff that he's put together, where I can benefit and learn from all my coworkers and the players themselves. So that's why I love doing this, because I want to constantly improve myself and hopefully wear off and put that demand on the players we're coaching. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, for this game, if you need a motivational speech and, pats on your back to get ready for this, I don't know if you're in the right profession or, at the right place. But I don't think that's normally not an issue for our guys. It all stems with the leadership under Coach Saban and the consistency, where it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're going to go about it. We're going to go about our attack and our approach and our preparation a certain way, no matter what. I think our guys really understand that clearly. And, from stemming from the off-season preparation with Coach Cochran, there's a standard that we're all attempting to operate to. And our players know that, just like today in our preparation, our meetings that go into everything and the attention to detail, so we can get the most out of practice today and put ourselves hopefully one step closer to being successful on Saturday night. Coach Saban's bragging about beating you in basketball. I don't know if that's real. So, all right. Well, if you want to come to our Noon League hoops, you're invited, but it's not a soft environment. You can be on our team if he drafts you, but he's claiming that he beat you, so he might put you on the other team. All right. I hear you. I got you.
We're hearing a lot of these players right now just mention it. I saw coaches are harping on, don't worry about the game. Don't worry about Saturday. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think we're trying to challenge them to prepare, every day. So we're not focused on, thinking about what's going to happen at the end of the game or the end result. It's pointless to do so. We're trying to get better, get improved, fix up our corrections from the day before, and attack the focus of the day, whether that's something specific from third down preparation, red area preparation, the different aspects of the game we need to prepare them for of that day. So that's probably what they're referring to, of just getting everything we can out of every meeting, every walkthrough, and every practice. So ultimately we can line up on Saturday and really perform in the absence of any fear and perform in the absence of any second guessing. We're going to execute our game plan full speed and let the results take care of themselves after that.
It's really easy to hone in on Kyler Murray when you talk about how great he is. What's the danger in just focusing on one player when they have so many athletes?
Yeah, we're not focusing in on one player. So them similar to our offense. There's explosive players all over the field. Number 5, number 2, number 84, number 26, number 4, and of course number 1. Got a group of quality tight ends as well, and 27 and 45, and a great offensive line to complement everything. So, we got to attack and prepare like we always do. And this is certainly an offense where you can't try to take away one guy. You can't make calls. You can't prepare a certain way to eliminate one individual because of the versatility of their offense, both from a scheme standpoint and a personnel standpoint.
I know it's your job to make these players feel like it's every other day, and that this weekend is no different. How do you get them to believe that when there's so much hype around one quarterback? How do you get them to believe that, hey, we're going out and playing good offense, just like another good offense we played at home?
Yeah, I think they've seen on tape the success of the team that we're playing here, so they know what they're getting in store for, but they know also that we just have to operate within the body of our defense. So, they got great players across the ball, and we have some quality players as well. So it's a matter about doing your job and not doing anything more, not going out of the box and doing something, because this is the type of offense that as soon as an individual tries to make a play that they're not supposed to be making, or being in a place that they're not supposed to be in, that they will expose you. So that's more so focusing on us rather than them, doing our job, having great eye discipline and control, playing with great fundamentals and a technique, getting these explosive ball carriers on the ground and attacking the ball on every rep.
Try to prepare a defense to attack a quarterback like Kyler Murray when he's trying to kind of bait you in when he escapes the pocket. He wants you to kind of come up so he can throw, but at the same time, if you don't come up, he's so dangerous running the ball. I mean, what do you tell your linebackers, guys, how to make that decision at what point do they kind of attack with the sights?
Yeah, well, you don't. I don't think you want to really dramatically change, with what you're doing and within your own scheme as far as to account for one individual. So, thankfully for us, we face some really good quarterbacks every single day within the body of practice. They're able to prepare us from a mobility standpoint as well as accurate throwers. So, I hope that we can benefit from that. Of course, we can't ignore the fact that we're facing somebody that can throw the ball very accurately, make all the throws, and hurt you with his legs as well, both in the run game and a scramble standpoint. So we just do our best as far as preparation and a practice standpoint to give all those different looks and, within the body of our own defense, attack their offense and, hopefully be able to contain and disrupt and, make number 1 not be in a comfortable state.
It seems like every year Alabama gets in these postseason situations against a high-octane offense, and a star arises. Dylan Moses is here today, not necessarily him, anybody. What do you look for in guys like these leaders, these linebackers? What are you looking for from them to emerge as that star to stop them?
Well, I hope you're right. I think one of the great benefits, of us being here in South Florida and being in an opportunity to be playing in the playoffs is we continue, just like from camp to this season, and you continue the growth, the focus on fundamentals, technique, preparation. So you see guys that it might be a young freshman, it might be a guy that started to catch your eye in the middle of the season. You see the continued growth here where a lot of opportunities are taken away from teams that are not going to postseason play. So when they end, they stop, and they have to wait all the way till spring ball, where we can continue the growth of these individuals mentally and physically. So I think you can see a guy, whether you mentioned Dylan Moses or you see some of these younger players especially, continue their growth and really show up, and you could see that in last year's game, whether you look at from Tua and Najee and Dylan and a couple guys that have performed, of these younger players. I think that all stems from the constant growth and continued improvement, because being able to, be fortunate enough to play in the postseason, you see that continued growth and prosperity from a technique fundamental standpoint.
What's the biggest challenge that this offense presents to the defense?
Yeah, I think the versatility, both within their scheme as well as their personnel. They have multiple players that we're going to have to account for and defend. So it's certainly a team that you can't erase one guy. You can't manipulate and change your concepts to take away one guy and feel really good, knowing that all over the field there's multiple players that can hurt you. And they do a really good job from a pre-snap standpoint, moving and utilizing their personnel in different places all over the field.